Bhakta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada ki Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacharya Shukara Shata Shishimat His Divine Grace Shri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki Jai Nanda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki Jai Prem se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Jai Shri Radha Krishna Prabhu Gopinath Jai Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanacharya Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjanaya Yamunatira Vanachariyam Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacarya Ashtatarashtata Shishimat His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 6, conversation between Narada and Vyasadev. Text number 32. Devadatam imam vinam Svara Brahma vibhushitam Murchai Vaharikatam Gayamanas charamyaham Devadatam imam vinam Svara Brahma vibhushitam Murchaitva harikatam Gayamana charamyaham Devadatam Ramana Viyushitam Chaidva Karikatam Devadatam imam vinam Svara Brahma vibhushitam Murchaidva harikatam Ramanaschamyaham Devadatam imam vinam Svara Brahma vibhushitam Harikatam Manascharamyaham. Okay, Deva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, Datam, gifted by Imam, this, Vinam, a musical stringed instrument, Swaram, singing matter, Brahma, transcendental, Vibhushitam, decorated with, Murchaitva, vibrating, Harikatam, transcendental message, Gayamana, singing constantly, Charami, do move, Aham. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And thus I travel constantly singing the transcendental message of the glories of the Lord, vibrating this instrument called a veena, which is charged with transcendental sound and which was given to me by Lord Krishna. Purport. The musical stringed instrument called the veena, which was handed to Narada by Lord Shri Krishna, is described in the Linga Purana, and this is confirmed by Srila Jiva Goswami. This transcendental instrument is identical with Lord Shri Krishna and Narada because all of them are of the same transcendental category. Sound vibrated by the instrument cannot be material. And therefore, the glories and pastimes which are broadcast by the instrument of Narada are also transcendental, without a tinge of material inebriety. The 7 singing matters, namely Sha, Shadja, Ri, Rishabha, Gandhara, Ma, Madhyama, Pa, Panchama, Da, Daivata, and Ni, Nishada, are also transcendental and specifically meant for transcendental songs. As a pure devotee of the Lord, Shri Narada Deva is always fulfilling his obligation to the Lord for his gift of the instrument, and thus he is always engaged in singing his transcendental glories and is therefore infallible in his exalted position. Following in the footsteps of Shri Narada Muni, a self-realized soul in the material world should also properly use the sound meters, namely Sha, Ri, Ga, Ma, etc., in the service of the Lord by constantly singing the glories of the Lord as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Namo Vishnupadaya, Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale, Shimate Praladananda, Swamiti Namine, Namo Vishnupadaya, Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale, Shimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine, Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Vishesha Shunyavadi Pashtya Shatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Narada Muni has this transcendental instrument which was gifted to him directly by Lord Krishna. So that means something. As a side note, it said, I don't know the reference, His Holiness Praladananda Maharaj was reading from a book, and it says there that the Mridanga was specifically invented by Lord Chaitanya. He said, okay, we want to do Sankirtan, we need some specific instrument, and he designed it. So it's important to use the Mridanga. So Narada Muni just goes around chanting the holy name. That's all he does. Sometimes he's chanting, sometimes he's preaching, convincing people to chant Hare Krishna. And that's all he does. Preaching is also chanting. Main point of the purport is that music is meant to be used for spiritual purpose, for glorifying Krishna. If not, if it's used for other purpose, not very good. First thing when I read the purport, I was thinking of an example of someone who was chanting something other than Hare Krishna, which is in Bhagavatam. Who wants to say who's this example? Who was chanting something else than Hare Krishna? Of course, it was actually Narada Muni himself, 2 lives before. One life before becoming Narada Muni, he was a son of Shudrani, and being a Shudra is not a very high qualification. So usually you find some information how they become in this position. For example, you find in the Shastra that Vidura, who is such an exalted personality but is born as a Shudra, it's described that he was Yamaraj and he was cursed. And long story. So how did Narada Muni get in? Of course, we always, many times in the Shastra, we see one life, and then we don't see what happened before. We see, okay, he was just listening from the Bhaktivedantas for a few months, and he became Narada Muni. And usually when you see these kind of things, they are meant to glorify the power of devotional service. But if you dig a bit, you look a bit, a few lifetimes before, you see that this is not an ordinary personality. They usually don't just happen to become devotees out of the blue. So Narada Muni also, probably he was a very exalted personality. And one of the incidents, two lives before, when describes how he became a Shudra. So he describes the incident. It's in the 7th canto. He says, long, long ago, in another Mahakalpa, millennium of Brahma, I existed as the Gandharva known as Upabarhana. I was very respected by the other Gandharvas. So he was a Gandharva. Gandharvas are very good at music. Maybe a bit better than we are, but yeah, so they are very good. He had also other qualities. I had a beautiful face and a pleasing, attractive bodily structure. Decorated with flower garlands and sandalwood pulp, I was most pleasing to the women of my city. Thus I was bewildered, always feeling lusty desires. He was also very appreciated by the ladies around. Anyway, that's a side topic. Once there was a Sankirtana festival to glorify the Supreme Lord in an assembly of the demigods, and the Gandharvas and Apsaras were invited by the Prajapatis to take part in it. So there was a festival, there was a holy name festival, and Upabarhana, because he was also invited. Like we have holy name festival. So Narada Muni continued. Being invited to the festival, I also joined. He also was invited. Guest singer, like we have for these festivals, we have different kirtaniyas. So he was invited. I also joined and surrounded by women. Anyway, I began musically singing the glories of the demigods. We started singing, and instead of chanting Hare Krišna, he started chanting Om Namah Shivaya, or I don't know what he chanted. So, what happened to him? So everyone was like, yeah, we need some variety. This is a holy name festival, but it's good to be good with everyone. No. Because of this, the Prajapatis, the great demigods in charge of the affairs of the universe, forcefully cursed me with these words. Because you have committed an offense, may you immediately become a Shudra devoid of beauty. And then, of course, in his he describes the next birth as, and how he became Narada Muni. I'll just read a bit from the purport of Srila Prabhupada to this text with Narada Muni being cursed. He says, as far as Kirtana is concerned, the Shastras say, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. One should chant the glories of the Supreme Lord and the holy name of the Supreme Lord. This is clearly stated. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. One should chant about and glorify Lord Vishnu, not any demigod. Unfortunately, there are foolish persons who invent some process of kirtana on the basis of a demigod's name. This is an offense. Kirtana means glorifying the Supreme Lord, not any demigod. Sometimes people invent Kali Kirtana or Shiva Kirtana, and even big sannyasis in the Mayavada school say that one may chant any name and still get the same result. But here we find that millions and millions of years ago, when Narada Muni was a Gandharva, he neglected the order to glorify the Lord, and being mad in the association of women, he began to chant otherwise. Thus, he was cursed to become a Shudra. So from this event, we also find out it's actually very trendy. I was staying in some Mayavadi ashram, and they had also some festival, and they were chanting. They had Kirtan, some yagya, some Kirtan yagya, and they had there was this group, they were chanting about Ganesh, and this group they were chanting about Lord Shiva, and then this group was chanting about Durga Devi, and then this other group was chanting about whatever. I don't know. I don't remember if there was some Hare Krišna. Probably not so much. So they, many people, they have this idea. It's very common in India that whoever you worship, it's all good. This personality is respectable, this other personality is respectable. And yesterday we had this Sangha with our Indian friends, and we were talking about this, that actually there's two categories of beings. One is called Jiva Tattva, and the other is called Vishnu Tattva. Vishnu Tattva means all the expansions of Krishna. And Jiva Tattva means living beings. So the living beings, they can be in two positions. They can be eternally liberated. They are usually in the spiritual world. Most of the people, most of the living entities are there, happily enjoying with Krishna. And there are some living entities, not very advanced, like we are, that are in the material world. We're at least trying, but this is a correction school. So, and this Jiva Tattva, they can become, for example, you can become Brahma. I don't know if I remember correctly. If you follow Varnashrama system correctly for 100 years, you can become 100 lifetimes. Sorry, you can become Brahma. So, you can become Brahma. Of course, when you look at the difference between Lord Brahma and we live 100 years, and he lives 300 trillion years. It's a bit. It's a completely different level, and of course our Brahma is a devotee. He's the head of our sampradaya, so that's something else. But the point is that Kirtan, chanting, Shravanam Kirtanam should be done based on Vishnu Tattva. So, you glorify Krishna mostly. Of course, in other schools they glorify Lord Narayan, Lord Ramachandra, which is completely bona fide. There was one incident in Romania. They have this artistic committee. You know, if you want to go sing on the streets, have Harinam, you have to go to the this committee, and they will see what you're singing, and then if they like your musical talent, they will accept. Okay, you can sing, and this is the prime spot, and this is the place for people who don't sing so nicely, and so on. So one day we were going there for we had Harinam. We had mostly sitting Harinam, and we were talking that actually this committee has different duty according to Bhagavatam. They should check that everyone is chanting Hare Krishna. No, if the street artist chants something else than Hare Krishna, oh, the love of my life, they say, stop, you cannot chant here. Finish. No chanting Hare Krishna, no. So we have also in Ljubljana these street commissioners. They always come and check if you're chanting in the right place and at the right time. If you stop at the info center, then you'll get in trouble. You can stop here, and there, and then. So they should also, someone should go, and next time we meet them, we should inform them that according to the Bhagavatam, their duty is to check that everyone is chanting Hare Krishna. They should go to this gentleman who's playing this accordion and say, hey, you cannot sing if you don't sing Hare Krishna. They should go to these other musicians. Hey, where's the Hare Krishna? No Hare Krishna? So that's the reference from Bhagavatam. We find that Upavarhana was chanting something else than Hare Krishna. He was actually glorifying the demigods, which is not so bad compared to what people are singing. But he got in trouble. He got cursed to be a Shudra. So we should, our authorities in Ljubljana should also check that everyone is chanting Hare Krishna. If they don't know not chanting Hare Krishna, big problem. You can chant somewhere else. Okay. So the point is that music is meant for pleasing Krishna. That's the original meaning of music. And then there are also some other details. It's not just that we chant Hare Krishna. The next point is how we chant Hare Krishna. Of course, you come to the Hare Krishna movement. The first day, if you chant some Hare Krishna, everyone is happy. Like, Jai, he's chanting. He said Hare Krishna. Wow, amazing. See, amazing. But after some time, they will start telling you some things. You know, they say, yes, Prabhu, you're chanting Hare Krishna, but there are also some other rules. So that's the point, that it's good that devotees chant Hare Krishna, but there's also some other rules. Most important principle is that Krishna is the enjoyer. So we chant Hare Krishna to please Krishna. So this means that we chant the way he likes it, not the way we like it. It's not, Kirtan is not some, we like to go to the parties before, and before we join the movement, and now we join the movement and we have some nice parties here. We chant some Hare Krishna, by the way. I mean, you have to chant something. No, Kirtan is a way of glorifying Krishna for his pleasure. So when you do something for his pleasure, then you have to know what does he like. Very simple. Like if I want to cook something for Uddhava Mitra, I have to know what he wants. So he likes kitri. I know, we know, everyone knows that he likes kitri. Just joking. So if you want to please someone, then you have to know how does he want things done. So how does Krishna like us to sing? You know, okay, we have Panchatattva deities. How do they like us to sing? You know, we are supposed to sing for their pleasure. So that's good question. We should have this question. There's if we don't know, probably for me when I look at Panchatattva, they usually don't speak to me, or maybe they speak, but I don't know. I cannot hear. So usually we find out from Srila Prabhupada. What do they like? And so we have some hints from Srila Prabhupada. There is a document compiled by the Kirtan ministry which described, it's a compilation of different quotes, mostly from Srila Prabhupada, that describe how should we have Kirtan. How should we have morning program? How should we have Kirtan? So it's if you want to please Krishna, then we have to find out, there's from Srila Prabhupada, how to please Krishna. So, for example, I'll just give some examples. It's probably good that we study this document. What is the most important in a kirtan? So we can say the most important is to have a good mridanga. No, it's important. Mridanga. You can sing without mridanga. I mean, I just said Lord Chaitanya invented the mridanga, so how can you sing without mridanga? I'm just joking. Yeah, the most important in Kirtan is the holy name. So we should remember that. For example, what does it mean if the focus is on the holy name? It means that the other instruments should not be louder than the holy name. That's simple. You have sometimes you have devotees. They don't have a voice on that day. They're like singing a bit, and then you hear the mridanga boom 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 boom, boom. And you don't hear too much. You're like, Hare Krišna, there's something boom boom boom. So the point, there's just some. I read some comments from this book. One of the devotees says, if you are approaching a kirtan group and all you can hear is the instruments drowning the Maha Mantra, such kirtan is deficient. The mantra must be heard clearly and distinctly over the instruments. That applies also for Harinam, because we want people to hear the holy name. Of course, sometimes it's mridanga is attractive and it can be heard from all. But we should understand that the main point of chanting is holy name. So all the instruments are subordinate to that. Srila Prabhupada even said which instruments we should use. For example, in Kirtan, Arti, especially in Arti. Okay, I'll just read something from some room conversation. It says, concentrating on the holy name, the other musical instrument if he plays, his attention will be diverted in musical instrument, not to chanting. We have to see melody, whether it's going on nicely, but that is not good. Our concentration should be hearing Hare Krishna. That is bhakti. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu simply this karatal, kola, that's all. Mridanga. In those days, of course, there was no harmonium, but many stringed instruments were there. Sitar, esaraj, but these things were not used. Sometimes we do use to attract, but it's not required. So Srila Prabhupada said, Kirtan means kartals and mridanga. And he even, one devotee, Revatinandana Prabhu, explained why Srila Prabhupada said that in Kirtan you shouldn't use harmony. Srila Prabhupada said, the melodic instruments, including the harmonium, are not meant for Kirtana, and he explained why. He said that the ear will automatically follow musical strains, and then our attention will be diverted from the mantra. So Srila Prabhupada didn't even want us to play harmonium during Kirtan. Of course, I mean, on Sunday feast, it's like a festival, you can make an exception, but generally we don't play harmonium during Kirtan. Okay. There is also, during morning program, there is a certain melody that should be chanted. There is, I don't know, I'm not an expert on this, but there is different ragas that are played at different times, and that's a whole science, because different melodies, they invoke different feelings. So, for example, some melodies are to wake up people. No, I'm just joking. So there's specific melodies for specific times. There's a different melody for Gurvashtaka. There's this melody. It's a very nice melody. Samsara davana lalita loka tranaya karunya gana ganatvam praptasya kalyana gunarnavasya vande guroshi charana ravindam. So this melody, you cannot use it during Mangala. You can use it if you, usually they use it if you have later, you have if Gurvashtakam is sung during the day. So there's a specific melody that you have to use in the morning, and actually the whole morning program is sung in this Gurvashtaka tune. Okay. Chanting Jaya at the end. Usually the traditional ISKCON Kirtan is that you chant Hare Krišna, and then you chant Jaya Pancha Tattva, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya everyone. And actually this was not introduced by Prabhupada. No. I'll just read. Srila Prabhupada did not personally introduce this. He finished Kirtanas simply with the Maha Mantra, without adding any other chants. Yet it was an accepted practice in ISKCON during Srila Prabhupada's personal presence, and Srila Prabhupada never expressed disapproval of it, although he specifically stated that he did not like that Jaya Prabhupada be repeatedly chanted. And of course, so it's not wrong. It's not wrong. You can chant once, not 5 times. But Srila Prabhupada didn't chant like this. There's also some instructions of Srila Prabhupada says what to sing in the morning program. And okay, that's probably in the other one. He says, okay. Style. Let's see. Prayers. Okay. This is from Hare Krišna Swami. He doesn't recall the exact words, but it's like he says more or less his Srila Prabhupada's exact words were, "Now I want to establish the standards for Kirtana. You may chant as follows: for Mangala Arti, the Samsara Dava prayers, then Shri Krishna Chaitanya, then Hare Krishna, nothing else. For the Guru Puja, the Guru prayer, that's what he called it, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Hare Krishna, nothing else." So that was Srila Prabhupada standard. That was the original standard. It's not, as I said, it's not wrong, but Srila Prabhupada just chanted Hare Krishna and just ended with that. That's one thing. Okay. Jaya Radhe. This is a nice topic. Bhakti Vikas Maharaj says in his book, Srila Prabhupada told us not to chant Jaya Radhe, so we shouldn't. Srila Prabhupada was always careful to protect his disciples from artificially jumping up to higher level of devotion. His restriction on our chanting of the name of our topmost object of worship, Srimati Radharani, seems to be a manifestation of such caution. Whatever the reason may be, neither Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati nor Srila Prabhupada encourages or introduce the chanting of Radhanam, and it behooves their followers to be similarly conservative. So I was also looking at this movie about Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj, and it says the same thing. Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj didn't encourage us too much things. Whenever we talk about Srimati Radharani, we will be like on our, they say, on your toes, very careful, very cautious. There's also one incident, Srila Prabhupada was with the devotees at Radhakund. And of course, we hear from Nectar of Instruction that it's good to bathe in Radhakund. And the devotees were bathing, but like boys do, you know. Yeah! Boom! Big splash, big... and Srila Prabhupada said, okay, no more bathing in the Radhakund. Finish. Because you should be very careful that this Radhakund is something very elevated. You should not just go there and act like a normal crazy person. Yeah, this is just having fun. Okay, I'll just mention one incident. Hare Krišna Maharaj says, the next morning I led the Kirtana in his room, duplicating the melodious style which he had shown me the day before. Prabhupada was pleased and seemed to enjoy the Kirtana. Unfortunately, I fell victim to that demon within the mind and started to speculate a couple of Jaya Radhes at the end of the Kirtana. This is one of the bigger mistakes made by me at the time. Although there is nothing wrong with Jaya Radhe, Prabhupada simply didn't want us to chant it. He once explained that Shukadeva did describing the topmost gopi friend of Krishna. Anyway, to continue the story, I had just started to chant Srimati Radharani's holy name within Vrindavanadam, her beloved Lord's abode, within the presence of her most intimate devotee. During the most auspicious hours of the day, when her most intimate devotee looked, and so he was thinking, okay, Vrindavan, birthplace of Krishna. She is the pure devotee. Jai Radha. So, Srila Prabhupada, how did he react? When her most intimate devotee looked at me with eyes blazing like fire and desirous of initiating my immediate destruction. So, Srila Prabhupada just gave him this look like, what are you doing? And he immediately stopped. Voice choked and gagging, I ended the kirtana immediately without further formalities, never again to make the same mistake. Prabhupada never ended kirtanas with various extra mantra, especially not Jaya Radhe, so why should we? Why should I? Yeah, this is just some of this. That's a big document. For example, it says that I saw a reference in this document that if you don't dance during kirtan, then you'll become lame in the next life. There's some reference from some Purana, so you have to dance. Anyway, but there's also you should because dancing is also for the pleasure of the deities. You should never dance with the back to the deities. You should be very careful when you dance that you don't. So even if you dance in a circle, you should make sure that your back is not towards the deity. Anyway, okay, just mentioning some things. We stop here. If there are some comments, concerns, questions. Okay. It's a long subject, so. But it's the point is that it's good to understand this because it improves our devotional service. If you know these fine details, then Krishna is more happy. Shri Panchatattva ki jai, Shri Gornitai ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki.
Krishna Chaitanya. Tika